We are with the Nobel Prize Amartya Sen and Dr. Minicelli, the president of FONRES, Bernardo Kliksberg. Amartya, your ideas, you told us now in your outstanding exposition that the people in Europe, the leaders, know that the ideas are wrong, but they follow up and continue in the same way. What is the reason? ¿Por qué las élites en Europa, sabiendo que esto está equivocado, el camino que han tomado, siguen en el mismo camino?
Well, I think the European problem has been created by a combination of very bad economic reasoning, and it's fitting into certain types of economic prejudices, whereby somehow it's assumed that if there is a problem like deficit, if you do something which hurts everyone, then you must be doing some good. But that's a confusion. A lot of hurting is of no good at all. That, unfortunately, the basis of it is the reasoning that the economy is like an individual. If I have deficit, if I'm spending more than I earn and get into a debt, then I ought to cut my expenditure. But if you do that for an economy, if you cut one person's expenditure, that's somebody else's income. And that just magnifies it. So what applies to the individual does not apply to an economy. And this is such an elementary point which John Maynard Keynes made more than 80 years ago. And the fact that we have to revisit this very obvious elementary territory is very unfortunate. And then there have been those who have tried to deny that Keynesian type of reasoning, have brought in all kinds of sophisticated things about what it does to the confidence of the business, etc. But those arguments don't really stand up. And this has been a very unfortunate thing where sophisticated argument after sophisticated argument have been used in defense of a very simple kind of economic reasoning. And I think the time has come to say goodbye to that. But behind that, the political force, especially I would say the Bundesbank and the German economic thinking. I'm very, very positive on German economic thinking on the environment and their worry about nuclear. I'm much more on the German side than on the French side in being suspicious of the nuclear. But on the European economic policy, I don't think Germany has been a good leader. On the nuclear, yes. On the economy, no.
Yes, and as you told us, always people interested can find some argumentation to justify anything.
La verdad que la pregunta que le queremos hacer es si está dispuesto por ahí a darnos un mensaje más amplio en relación a lo que decíamos recién, ¿no? Esto de no trabajar con pruebas al azar, empezar a trabajar con experiencia empírica probada, empezar a recrear lo que significa la conciencia y el conocimiento adquirido para poder a partir de ahí aplicarle conocimiento a la realidad y a lo que nos está pasando.
I think that's a very good question. And we need both solid scientific informational scrutiny, more data, but also more relevant data appropriately scrutinized and presented on one side. We also need much clear-headed reasoning about what kind of information are we looking and how we can deal with it. I think the policies that have gone wrong to a very large extent in Europe dealing with the economic crisis, and to a smaller extent, still to a substantial extent in America in dealing with their own crisis, they have arisen from both empirical failure in not looking for the right information, as well as reasoning failure, not seeing how the different parts of the evidence relate to each other. And, bad economic reasoning can often be very appealing because they appeal to sometimes are very elementary prejudices. And unfortunately, a lot of that has happened in this case. We do need to get over the situation where we rely on bad data and bad reasoning to a situation when we have better data and better reasoning to deal with problems that are real and really important.
You saw hungry in your childhood. You saw poverty in many of your experiences in the world. You denounced poverty in India in one of your last books, half of the population without sanitary installations. What is your general thinking? Poverty can be overcome, really?
I think the amazing thing isn't so much whether poverty could be overcome, but given the fact that it should be so easy to overcome if we get our acts together, that it still remains such a big reality in the world. It's really quite extraordinary. It's not that we're dealing with problems where we don't know what is causing what. We do know exactly what is causing what. We need more basic education, more basic health care. We need gender equality. We need an open economy. We have to listen to different points of view. We need participation and democracy. And we need a situation when neither the tyranny of politics of dictatorial kind or military kind of which Latin America has seen a lot, nor the tyranny of bad ideas deflect us from doing those things which we can very easily do and to overcome poverty. The amazing thing is, why does it not happen? And there we have to look at the political mechanism and to some extent blame ourselves, because we are all participants in the global exercise in trying to create a decent world in which not having poverty would be a major achievement, not the only achievement, but a major achievement. And if we criticize things happening around, we should also try to find out how we could eliminate those things which are going wrong.
Hemos logrado en el marco de este Congreso crear una agenda abierta latinoamericana de responsabilidad social por la integración. Una integración que nosotros entendemos tiene mucho que ver con atacar de raíz todos estos temas, problemas que generan pobreza, generan desigualdad. La verdad que la expectativa que tenemos es poder conocer lo que están haciendo cada uno de los países, generar una base de información suficiente para empezar a tomar decisiones a todo nivel, público, privado y social. Y nosotros creemos que es parte de los caminos correctos como para iniciar el tránsito hacia derrotar la pobreza o hacia una mirada primero más humana hacia América Latina y después en lo posible derramar en el resto del planeta. ¿Usted qué piensa?
I hope you are in the right track, and knowing you, I expect you are on the right track, since you have a clear thinking intellectual. I believe it's in the right track. It's not because I know anything about it. So I should not comment as if I have an expert view, but because of my faith in you and faith in your reasoning, I'm sure it's in the right track. But that's all I can say. I can't say more since I have not studied it. But thank you very much for telling me. I'm very encouraged to hear it.